And frankly, counselor, your persistence on this line of questioning borders on the theatrical. We have the facts, the record is clear. Move on. The judge leans back, a picture of practiced patience. Judge Harrison, silver hair, sharp suit, a smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes, known for his quick wit and quicker dismissals. I take a breath, Maya rays, today I'm counsel, today the theater is his. Your Honor, the facts are precisely what we haven't established. Because my questions haven't been answered. He sighs, a performative sound for the gallery. A few people chuckle softly behind me. They're used to his rhythm. Miss Reyes, I've given you considerable latitude, more than I typically grant, I assure you. Consider it a professional courtesy. His eyes sweep the courtroom, a subtle reminder of who holds the gavel, whose stage this is. Thank you, Your Honor, I appreciate the latitude. But I'd prefer answers. The chuckle dies, a slight shift in the air. My client's life, Mr. Eris Thorne, isn't a matter of courtesy. It's a matter of due process. And due process requires exploring the inconsistencies in Officer Miller's report, which you seem determined to avoid. Judge Harrison's smile tightens, just a fraction. That's a serious accusation, counselor. Watch yourself. The record will reflect Officer Miller testified for 2 hours. Under oath. Yes, he testified, he didn't clarify. He offered explanations that contradict the physical evidence. Contradict his own initial statement. That's not theatricality, Your Honor. That's grounds for reasonable doubt. The judge picks up a pen, taps it softly on his notepad, once, twice. The officer explained the discrepancies. Fatigue, stressful situation, perfectly understandable. Understandable. My voice stays level, calm, but the word hangs there. A man is facing 15 years, Your Honor. Based on testimony that shifts like sand. Fatigue doesn't change the trajectory of a bullet. Stress doesn't alter GPS coordinates from the patrol car. These aren't feelings, they're data. He puts the pen down, leans forward slightly, the charm flickers. Are you suggesting Officer Miller is lying, Ms. Reyes? Be very clear. I hold his gaze, a slow blink. Let the silence stretch just a beat. I'm suggesting the evidence indicates his testimony is unreliable. The why is less important than the what. And what we have are facts that don't align. Facts your ruling seems poised to ignore. A murmur ripples through the gallery, low, indistinct, but audible. Judge Harrison's knuckles are white where he grips the edge of his bench. This court relies on sworn testimony, on the credibility of our officers. You're asking me to discard that based on interpretations. Interpretations. I glance down at the file in front of me, then back up at him. The GPS data showing Officer Miller's car was 2 blocks away at the time he claimed to witness the event. Is that an interpretation? The preliminary ballistics report suggesting the angle was impossible from his stated position. Interpretation. The timestamp on the security footage from the bodega across the street, showing my client buying milk exactly when the incident supposedly occurred miles away. Is that just my interpretation, Your Honor? His face is hardening now, the folksy charm dissolving under the courtroom lights. You had the opportunity to cross-examine Officer Miller. You made your points, vigorously, I might add. He glances at the court reporter, a small, tight smile, as if sharing an inside joke. Some might say, aggressively. Another ripple of sound from behind me, nervous laughter this time, uneasy. Aggressively seeking the truth, Your Honor, is that a problem? Or just inconvenient? The judge slams his hand down, not the gavel, his palm flat, hard. Enough. The sound cracks through the room. Silence descends, heavy, absolute. I will not have the integrity of this court questioned. I will not have an officer of the law impugned without direct evidence of perjury, which you have not provided. He points a finger, not quite at me, but close enough. You are skirting the line, counselor, a very thin line. Present your next point, or sit down. My heart is hammering, but my hands are steady on the lectern. My next point, Your Honor, is the truth. And it seems the court finds that inconvenient. I don't raise my voice, don't have to. The quiet defiance is louder than his outburst. He glares, eyes narrowed, searching for a flicker of fear, of submission. He doesn't find it. Just finds me, waiting, holding his gaze. The air is thick with unspoken challenge. The audience is utterly still, waiting too. Waiting to see who blinks first. He leans back again, tries to regain composure, smooths his robe. Fine, proceed, Ms. Reyes. But tread carefully. The implicit threat hangs there, unspoken, undeniable. Thank you, Your Honor. I turn slightly, acknowledging the spectators without looking directly at them. I can feel their eyes, the weight of their attention. It's shifted. Let's talk about the bodega receipt. Dated, timed, itemized. Milk bread aspirin. Purchased by Aris Thorne at 8:17 p.m. According to Officer Miller's sworn testimony. I pause, let the contrast build. The alleged assault happened at 8:15 p.m., 5 miles away. Make it make sense, Your Honor. Judge Harrison shifts in his seat, uncomfortable, visible now. We've been over the timing, Ms. Reyes. Eyewitness accounts aren't always precise down to the minute. A minute or two discrepancy, perhaps. But 5 miles in 2 minutes during rush hour. Unless my client has mastered teleportation alongside his alleged criminal activities. A woman in the front row suppresses a snort, quickly covers her mouth. The judge's eyes flick towards her. Annoyance flashes across his face. Sarcasm does not strengthen your argument, counselor. It weakens your credibility. Facts weaken Officer Miller's credibility, Your Honor. My credibility is intact. It's the narrative being pushed by the prosecution that's falling apart. And with respect, your willingness to overlook these glaring holes is troubling. Troubling. He leans into his microphone. His voice drops, low, menacing. Let me tell you what I find troubling, Ms. Reyes. I find your relentless attacks on a decorated officer troubling. I find your insinuations about this court's integrity troubling. I find your entire demeanor bordering on contemptuous. His gaze sweeps the room again, daring anyone to disagree. This isn't a stage for grandstanding. This is a court of law. There are rules, procedures, decorum. Perhaps you do well to remember that. I remember everything, Your Honor. I remember my client, Aris Thorne, sitting in jail for 6 months, losing his job, his apartment, his daughter asking why Daddy can't come home. I remember the evidence, the GPS, the ballistics, the receipt. And I remember my duty to present that evidence vigorously, aggressively if necessary. Decorum doesn't trump due process. Procedure doesn't invalidate facts. And the rule of law includes holding everyone accountable, even decorated officers, even the bench itself. The silence that follows is different, not stunned this time, charged, electric. You can feel the tension ratcheting up, palpable. Judge Harrison looks cornered, the mask of judicial impartiality slipping, showing the irritation beneath. He opens his mouth, closes it, takes a visible breath, trying to regain control. Are you finished, counselor? Or do you have any actual evidence left to present? Besides casting aspersions, the passive aggression is thick enough to cut, trying to frame my defense as mere mudslinging. Yes, Your Honor, I have the security footage from the bodega. Crystal clear, shows Mr. Thorne at the counter, shows the clock on the wall behind him. 8:17 p.m. Would you like me to play it for the court? Again, he waves a dismissive hand. We've seen the footage. Low quality, grainy, could be anyone. Could be anyone. I hold up a still frame, printed, high definition, obtained from the store owner directly. This is Aris Thorne, clear as day, holding a carton of milk. The clock reads 8:17. Unless the prosecution is suggesting my client has a twin who enjoys late-night dairy purchases. A few more stifled laughs, louder this time, bolder. The judge glares, not at me, at the audience, a warning look. This court will have order. His voice cracks just slightly, a hairline fracture in the smooth facade. Ms. Reyes, you're testing the limits of my patience. Your Honor, the evidence is testing the limits of the prosecution's case. There's a difference. He stares at me, long and hard, the air crackles. He's searching for weakness, a way to shut this down without looking biased. But the facts are boxing him in. The audience feels it too, leaning forward collectively, holding their breath. He taps his pen again, faster this time, a nervous rhythm. The prosecution contends the timestamp on the video could be inaccurate. Clocks run fast or slow, it happens. Convenient. Just one word, softly spoken, but it lands like a hammer blow. Did you just? His voice trails off. He looks genuinely taken aback, off script. Did I just what, Your Honor? Speak the truth, point out the obvious. The prosecution's entire case hinges on dismissing every piece of evidence that contradicts their narrative. Timing is off, the clock is wrong. GPS doesn't match, the system malfunctioned. Ballistics impossible, the report is preliminary. Witness saw him elsewhere, must be mistaken identity. At what point does coincidence become absurdity? At what point does the court stop making excuses for a flawed prosecution? My voice hasn't risen, still calm, still measured, but there's steel underneath now. I'm not attacking the officer, I'm defending my client with the facts. Facts you seem reluctant to acknowledge. He looks flustered, truly flustered, shuffling papers, avoiding my eyes. This is highly irregular, Ms. Reyes. Your tone. My tone. I let the question hang, a beat of silence. My tone reflects the gravity of the situation. A man's freedom is at stake, based on a story that doesn't add up. Is the court more concerned with my tone? Or with the truth? Gasps audible this time, not laughter, sharp intakes of breath. Someone whispers, "Oh my God." Judge Harrison's face flushes, a deep, angry red creeping up his neck. He grips the gavel, lifts it slightly, holds it there, a silent threat. Counselor, you are dangerously close to being held in contempt. Is it contemptuous to demand justice, Your Honor? Is it contemptuous to present evidence? Is it contemptuous to expect the court to see what is plainly visible? The bodega receipt, the GPS data, the video footage. These aren't interpretations, they aren't attacks. They are facts, and they prove Aris Thorne is innocent. He bangs the gavel once, twice, 3 times hard. Silence, order in the court. Ms. Reyes, I am warning you, one more word. One more word about what, Your Honor? About the truth. The room is dead silent. You could hear a pin drop, everyone frozen, watching. His hand tightens on the gavel, his jaw clenches. He looks trapped, exposed, the authority he wields suddenly feeling hollow. He knows he has to know that shutting me down now looks like exactly what it is. Suppression, bias. He looks out at the faces in the gallery, sees the judgment there, the doubt. Sees the tide turning against him. He lowers the gavel slowly, places it back on its stand. The gesture feels like defeat. Do you have anything further, Ms. Reyes? Anything factual? The sarcasm is still there, but it's weak now, brittle. Yes, Your Honor. I place the printed photo of Aris Thorne at the bodega counter gently on the lectern, facing him, facing the court. Just this. The image speaks for itself. A long moment passes. Judge Harrison stares at the photo, then at me. His expression is unreadable, a mask slammed back into place, but the eyes, they're different. The confidence is gone, replaced by something else. Resentment, maybe, or grudging respect, hard to tell. He clears his throat, a dry, rasping sound. The court will take a 15-minute recess. He stands abruptly, doesn't look at me, doesn't look at the audience, just turns and walks towards his chambers, his back ramrod straight, but his steps seem heavy. The moment he disappears, the courtroom erupts. Not loud applause, but a buzzing wave of whispers, people turning to each other. Eyes wide, phones suddenly appearing, held low, discreetly, but definitely recording, capturing the aftermath, the lingering tension. My own hands are shaking slightly now, adrenaline fatting, reactions setting in. I take a slow breath, gather my papers methodically, calmly. My client, Aris, catches my eye from the defendant's table. He gives me a small, almost imperceptible nod. His eyes are filled with a fragile hope I haven't seen before. It grounds me. This is why. The prosecutor looks furious, snapping his briefcase shut, muttering something to his assistant, avoiding my gaze completely. Someone touches my arm, an older woman from the gallery, tears in her eyes. "Thank you," she mouths silently, "just thank you." I nod back, a small acknowledgement. The air still feels charged, like static electricity before a storm breaks. What just happened here? It wasn't just a legal argument. It was a confrontation, a peeling back of layers, exposing something raw and uncomfortable about power, about truth, about who gets believed and who gets dismissed. I remember my first supervising attorney, Ms. Davison, tough as nails, sharp as a tack. She told me once after I'd lost my temper during a deposition. "Anger is a tool, Maya, not a weapon. Use it surgically. Let them underestimate your calm. Let them mistake restraint for weakness. Right up until the moment you make your point. Precision, not volume. That's how you win the fights that matter." Today, I think I understood what she meant. The judge hadn't expected the quiet persistence. He expected volume, expected hysterics, expected me to fold under the weight of his authority, his sarcasm, his thinly veiled threats. "Hey, Yost,"